Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. We have, let me see. If you haven't already done it, I have a straw poll in the description and also a pinned comment up there. Let's go over that. As you can see here, I asked the question, will AMD's RX 6000 series be able to beat the RTX 3090? Most of you seem to think that it might be able to beat the 3080, but not the 3090, with the rest of you basically saying possibly. So, it definitely does seem like there's, most people are kind of iffy about the 3090, but hopefully the 3080, which is, of course, the real thing people want to see them beat anyway. And with that said, I want to go over all of the kind of information that we've gotten so far as specs and everything like that. A little while back, Video Cards actually sent out quite a bit of information on it. You can see here that this week, which was about a week ago, AMD provided a lot of details to AIBs, including new drivers, final SKU names, and so on. It says they were actually able to cross-check parts of the specs, and they feel fairly confident in them. So, as you can see, we have the RX 6900 XT, 6800 XT, and 6800. And I really quickly will say that both the 6800 and 6800 XTs seem to have effectively been confirmed today. You can see that Gigabyte actually issued a trademark with the EEC for a 6800 XT Aorus card and 6800 non-XT. And you can see that they come with 16 gigabytes of GDDR. Well, it doesn't say exactly, but likely GDDR6, which is what we've been seeing. And really quickly, with all of that, let's kind of go over the specs a little bit. The 6900 XT, it so far looks like it's going to be coming with 80 compute units, which is 5,120 stream processors. It's effectively double the stream processors currently in the 5700 XT. Then we have the 6800 XT. Now, really quickly, the 6900 XT, and not just Video Cards have said this, but basically, it looks like that is going to be an AMD exclusive. So think of it as kind of like NVIDIA's, oh my goodness, I can't even think, but their 3090 was kind of the one time that their higher end card effectively wasn't an NVIDIA exclusive. Well, AMD is kind of keeping to that. Think of this somewhat similar to their card. What was it? The 5700 Anniversary Edition. Yes, for some reason, drew a blank there for a second, except this time it isn't just faster clocks, it actually has more compute units. So personally, I do think, especially given the name, that this is going to be set to combat NVIDIA's 3090. Then we have the mainstream, which is really going to be their main card, potentially set to go up against the 3080, the 6800 XT. This is the Navi 21 XTX model. It comes with 72 compute units or 4,608 stream processors. And both of these are paired with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. Once again, the 6800 XT, it's basically set to be their main card. Then we have the 6800, and by the way, both of these are set to be announced today. Actually, from what we've seen, all of them are going to be announced. The 6800 XT, and 6700 XT and 6700. I forgot that they actually did confirm a 6700 card, non-XT variant. So AMD has a ton of things supposedly planned to be announced today, except these two are set to launch quite a bit later. We may just get like a tease of the 6700 XT and 6700. But anyway, oh yes, don't forget, a lot of people seem to keep forgetting that this is RDNA 2, which means that it's set to come with hardware accelerated ray tracing. So like I said, a lot of people seem to think that this isn't going to come with ray tracing capabilities similar to NVIDIA's RTX cards. That's basically been completely confirmed by AMD to be wrong. It is going to have hardware accelerated ray tracing. Next up, actually, I'm going to go here. We have some of the first look from video cards of the images, the 6800 XT and 6800 non-XT cards. These are supposed to be them right there. I believe this is the 6800 XT and this is the non-XT model. They look very, very similar, but you can see that there are slight differences. Really just right here, to be honest, and it looks like this is a little bit darker, although that could just be in the render. Either way, these are supposed to be the cards that are going to be launching, or at least two of them. And then let's see. Oh, that's the stream. Oh, also don't forget that NVIDIA apparently has a something between the 3080 and 3090. We're thinking it's likely a 3080 Ti that they're set to launch to potentially combat AMD's RX 6000 series. Though, of course, given what we've seen, it may not be enough. I don't know. It's really going to depend on price, I think. I think that's what everything's going to be about here. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure that there is nothing else. Once again, the straw poll getting tons of votes, but it does seem like nothing's really changed. Most people think there's a chance it'll be the 3080, but not the 3090. Though, of course, remember that the 3080 is really the main thing to beat. The 3090 is so ridiculously priced. It's for like the two gamers out there who have an 8K TV or 8K monitor and want to use it. So that's basically all the 3090 is for. I don't suggest it for anyone else. And even for them, I would suggest waiting for future graphics cards that are going to be better and better able to handle 8K. So personally, I don't think really much of anyone should buy the 3090. Oh, except for professional workloads and things like that who can utilize it and can justify the massive price difference for very little difference in compute and gaming. If you can justify it, go for it. Or, of course, for those who just want the fastest GPU and don't mind paying everything to get it. Those are really the only kind of scenarios where I would suggest it. So the main thing that they need to beat is the 3080, which from everything we've seen, it does look like that they'll at least be at similar performance. And to be honest, I feel like even if it isn't better, it's just all right. Personally, I really think it's not even with the fact that NVIDIA's cards are basically a no-show. Right now, the 3080 at this point, it's like a unicorn or something. I mean, yeah, we know how good it is. We know the performance. We know the pricing, but you can't buy it. So personally, I really think that this is in AMD's court, even if they don't beat the 3080, or even if they're slightly worse and at the same price. I honestly think they're still going to sell a ton as long as they have the cards to sell. So personally, that's really what I think the biggest thing is here. Let's see. Oh, and really quickly, I highly doubt that this is going to be a launch. I'm actually almost positive that it isn't, given some of the things that AMD has said. This is almost certainly going to be an announcement with a launch maybe later in November or something like that. But either way, in the meantime, make sure I do have some links in the description. If for whatever reason it is going to be launching today, I will have those in the description. So just try and click on that if you don't mind. They are affiliate links and it does help the channel out. Anyway, I do see that there's quite a bit more people in here. Just want to go ahead and show everyone. This is supposed to be the 6800 XT and 6800 non-XT models. Once again, very little difference between the cards. This one just seems to kind of be darker, and the indentions in here are bigger. That's pretty much it. It does look like it's going to be red, so likely not RGB, which is unfortunate, but these are really just meant to be reference cards, just for someone who wants a card made by AMD. It's not really made to be for everyone. That's what the AIB cards are for, of course. Though, of course, if you're wanting a 6900 XT, you're going to have to get an AMD card. At least that's what the rumors and leaks have all suggested. And I guess we can go over, let's see. I will say I've seen some rumors suggesting that the 6800 XT actually comes with 80 compute units. Although we have no idea, then what the 6900 XT would have. I think I've seen something like potentially 90, I believe it was. But so far, this does seem to be the most concise and potentially accurate leak as far as the specs. So with this, you can see it gets a max boost clock, the 6900 XT, of 2.3 gigahertz. Though at the same time, we've seen some, in my most recent video, we actually see up to 2.55 gigahertz. We're talking 2550 something gigahertz. Now that was an overclock, but regardless, that's huge. That's a massive difference from the 5700 XT. I believe we were able to get upwards of potentially around 2 gigahertz, but that was it. So to be able to get 2.5, especially on air, really big. So we have that. Then we have the fact that it's double the it's double the compute units as the 5700 XT, and 50% more performance per watt. So 50% more performance per watt, and we've also seen the wattage being really, really high. So with all of that, it definitely leads me to believe that there is a chance this truly can compete with NVIDIA's new RTX 3000 cards. And of course, a lot of you I know are super hopeful that that is the case, just because, like I said, no one can buy them. They still are not here. So, let's see. One second. Looks like we're about 10 minutes away. Once again, it does come with hardware accelerated ray tracing. This is RDNA 2. This is their second generation RDNA processors. And just like the consoles, they are going to be hardware accelerated ray tracing. So they are going to offer RTX ray tracing just like NVIDIA's cards. Let's see. So there's AMD stream, just kind of waiting for that. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I know I kind of fumbled through all of that. Just for whatever reason, I'm almost always really bad at the start of my streams, and then I just kind of pick up. I guess I'm a little bit nervous at first, but let's see. Yes, consoles are getting ray tracing. Both Microsoft and Sony have confirmed that. So let's see. Oh yeah, the 3070 is coming out tomorrow. I don't have a link in this video or in this stream, but I do in yesterday's video. If you're wanting to have a shot at that, it does seem like there are more 3070s getting in the hands of retailers, so there's a chance you'll be able to get one, but I really think it's still going to sell out really quickly. But I don't know. The way I feel, a lot of people who were going to be getting the 3080 are probably going to be looking at the 3070, at least for now, and will probably jump on it. But at the same time, I don't know. let's see. Release schedule. Any rumors on possible release schedule? From what we've seen, it looks like it's going to be the end of November, although that really can change. I don't believe video cards. Let me see. Yeah, I believe it's going to be this month. Obviously, or this month, not this month, November. The unveil is today. But the 6700 XT and 6700 non-XT cards are apparently going to be, yes, that launch is planned for January. So November potentially for the 6800, 6800 XT, 6900 XT, and then early next year for the lower or mid-range cards. Let's see. And as far as those specs, I don't think we have anything for the 6700 yet, but the compute units for the 6700 XT is actually set to be the same as the 5700 XT. So 40 compute units, though, of course, once again, newer architecture, updated RDNA 2 architecture, potentially much higher clocks, and then hardware ray tracing. So it may sound the same as the 5700 XT, but it certainly will not be. Let's see. As far as availability, yes. Okay, I will really quickly go over that. Availability, I have been hearing that there is going to be a ton more availability versus the RTX 3000 cards. But I can't confirm that. I really can't. It definitely seems like this launch is a whole lot better than the RTX 3000 launch. So here's the hoping, but at the same time, as always, I suggest go ahead and subscribing to the channel, and also subscribing on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, just because I do try my best, like the night before or something, to let you guys know the exact time that they're going to be launching. Usually that's around 9, but I do try my best to get that information out as long as I'm not under any kind of NDA or anything like that. So I will be doing that if I can, and just try to be first in line. That's really all I can say. I do know we've seen AMD is trying to stop the bots, trying to stop all the issues that the RTX 3000 cards had, but obviously there's only so much you can do. There's proxy servers, there's all this kind of stuff where bots can kind of get around those measures, but they are at least trying. So the number one thing, like I said, that I suggest is just to be there as early as possible. As soon as they're ready to go ahead and add it to your cart. It looks like they plan on having like a limited time that you're able to keep it in your cart. Add it to your cart, purchase it. They are also, a lot of them, one of the suggestions from AMD was to have it where you could only buy one. Though, of course, these are only suggestions strongly urged by AMD for retailers. They can't force them to do it. So let's see. We are, I do believe, getting fairly close to the premiere. Yep, looks like 5 minutes away. Let's see. Any other questions? Let me look. I swear this thing's like a minute off, so I do apologize for that. One person asked about power efficiency. They're definitely going to be more efficient versus how much you get out of them. But at the same time, remember that the RTX 3000 cards, remember, how do I put it? What we have basically been seeing is that the cards that are set to challenge the RTX 3000 cards, like the 3080, being challenged by the 6800 XT, from what we've seen, it's ultimately going to have right around the same wattage. So these are going to be fairly power hungry, likely because of the really high clocks we've been seeing. But let's see. Oh, not a full minute. Only a few seconds, but it's enough where it's very noticeable and kind of annoying. So let's see. So yeah, either way, what I was trying to say is that power efficiency, they're technically going to be more efficient. You're going to get quite a bit more power for the same wattage, but from what we've seen, they're going to be fairly high wattage. Oh, thank you, Neo Human, for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Really appreciate all of my fans. Anyone who's able to donate, anyone who's able to do anything on the Patreon, thank you. Just thank you so much. And really just thanks for watching, to be honest. I'm blown away every single day at my videos. Cannot say how much I appreciate all of you enough, to be honest. Okay, looks like we're 2 minutes away. I will say that I'm actually getting really excited. I do hope I'll be able to get 1 or 2 or 3 to review. Let's see. Yep. Premieres in 2 minutes, though, of course, they're usually about a minute or so off. Oh, let me go ahead and do this just so I can hear it. Someone asked, ray tracing. Yes, hardware ray tracing. 100% confirmed. The number one thing, I really hope that they're not going to do some kind of new 12-pin connector, especially how they did that with the 3070, yet it only needed one 8-pin. I mean, I understand that they were trying to make it smaller for the 2 8-pin connectors, so the 12-pin was smaller, but the 12-pin is just as big as a single 8-pin. Why not just put the 8-pin in? Very weird. I guess just to kind of keep it consistent across all of NVIDIA's 3000 cards. But anyway, let's see. Thank you, Kira. Hi, Mom. Let's see. 60 seconds. Definitely getting excited. You can see, gonna do a little bit of inception here. You can see that they are showing the card. Oh, and to that end, thank you for getting rid of the blower. Seriously, thank you. It was loud and efficient. Didn't cool it that well. I get it. Here's the thing. Reference cards are all about looking cool, looking, the best that they can look. So I do understand that, kind of why they went the blower route, just because you can do a lot more with a card. Because as you can tell, these 3-fan coolers kind of technically all look about the same. But, sorry, didn't mean to do that, but sorry. Anyway, for those who actually want to do it, who actually want to use the cards, it's just really inefficient. So anyway, thank you, Echo. Really do appreciate that. Okay, so they are supposed to be premiering, but they have not. Like I said, AMD is usually about a minute or so off, so... any idea when these might come to laptops? I will say, good question. I have no idea. We haven't heard anything about laptops. I don't think they're going to be announcing anything on laptops today. Maybe. I do know with the 5000 series, a lot of times they would launch or at least announce their mobile variant right along with it. So they might be doing that. Really good question. Okay. Looks like we're 2 minutes away. Looks like they have... done it. Not sure if you guys can hear it. Here it comes. Thanks so much, Magix. I really appreciate that. Love all my fans. You guys are awesome. All right. I will say, let me do this. I will say that from what we've heard, AMD's drivers are going to be a lot better this time. They worked really, really hard, worked longer to get them better. Cannot say that for sure. Obviously, that's just rumors that we're hearing, but hopefully that is correct. Oh, a lot of you are saying it's too loud. Let me turn it down. Yeah, I can see it is getting up there. Sorry about that. This is why I hate this like 4-second. You know what? I can actually tell you exactly. It's almost 20 seconds off. Wow. I had no idea it was that bad. Because I can actually look at my stream and what YouTube is showing right now. And it's unbelievably off. So I'm really sorry about that. Okay, right now we're at 2, 1, 0. Here we go. And that's it. Woo! No. I believe that's the 5800 XT from what we've seen. But that is exactly what was shared earlier.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for this second half of our next-gen PC platform launch. I loved seeing all of your excitement when we introduced the Ryzen 5000 series a few weeks ago. It was actually the most watched launch video in AMD history. And I must say, we're very proud of what Zen 3 brings to gamers. But today is all about Big Navi. I'm really excited to show you the new RDNA 2 architecture and our full stack of Radeon RX 6000 series products. As you know, we brought the first generation of RDNA architecture to market in 2019 with the Radeon RX 5700 XT. And with the combined launch of the 5700 XT and the Ryzen 3000 series, AMD became the first company to introduce a high-performance CPU and GPU together. And we delivered a winning combination of computing and gaming performance, including CPU and GPU of the year in 2019 from PC Gamer. Now, 2020 is really the year of the gamer. I know many of you can't wait to get your hands on the next-gen consoles. Whether it's the Microsoft Xbox Series X and Series S or the Sony PlayStation 5, we are so proud that AMD is enabling these incredible gaming experiences, which is why we like to say that AMD is where gaming begins. Now, earlier this month, I showed you our new AMD Ryzen 5000 series, the world's best gaming processor. Our next-gen Ryzen processor combines absolute performance leadership in single-threaded performance, gaming, and creative workloads with leadership performance per watt. And for millions of you, it's a drop-in upgrade to your existing AM4 motherboard. Now, as successful as we've been with Ryzen, many of you have asked us to compete at the highest end of gaming GPUs as well. And today, we're ready to show you exactly what we've been working on. I'm so excited to show you the Radeon RX 6000 series. It's absolutely the most powerful gaming GPU we've ever built. I think you'll be pretty pleased with what you see. I often talk about the fact that we're on a journey, and we are on a journey. Just like with our Zen CPU architecture, we're on a multi-year journey in GPUs with our RDNA architecture. We designed RDNA specifically for gaming, And our first-gen RDNA products delivered 50% better performance per watt over our GCN architecture. We wanted to take another big step with RDNA 2 and deliver another 50% generational improvement in perf per watt. And with RDNA 2, we also set the very ambitious goal to deliver leadership gaming performance. And now I'm very happy to show you for the first time, Big Navi. This is the chip at the heart of our high-end Radeon RX 6000 series. 26.8 billion transistors built with leading-edge 7-nanometer process technology. Big Navi is our first product powered by RDNA 2. We have made incredible progress on the architectural front. And now let me turn it over to AMD fellow Laura Smith to give you more details on the architecture.
Thank you, Lisa. Our graphics architecture roadmap has a clear goal: gaming leadership across the ecosystem. The GCN was a great architecture, but we knew we needed to rethink graphics and build the best engine for the future. We wanted to build a set of technologies that game developers could use across all platforms. The first major step was RDNA, introduced last year. RDNA was a new architecture and used a 7-nanometer process node, which helped us with the large initial gains. We committed to you that our engineers had plans in the works for RDNA 2, and we would be back quickly with another significant improvement. By combining our expertise in CPU design, deep gaming history, and broad ecosystem partnerships, RDNA 2 is built to be the gaming architecture for all gamers across console, PC, and beyond. We had some very ambitious goals with RDNA 2. Significantly higher performance, 50% improvement in performance per watt, and new hardware features. Individually, each of these goals is challenging. When combined, they become extremely difficult because as you push performance, a natural side effect is more power. New features also mean more computation, further challenging both speed and power metrics. For RDNA 2, we made significant gains in all these areas. The compute unit is the core of the architecture. We advanced all aspects of the compute unit design, leveraging techniques first developed in CPUs. We deployed pervasive fine-grained clock gating, reimagined the pipeline to aggressively maximize performance while minimizing data movement. In combination, these elements made the compute units 30% more energy efficient, allowing them to be pushed faster. Gaming at 4K requires more data to be brought into the chip. The amount of data more than doubles as we move from 1440p to 4K. The more efficient the memory subsystem the higher fidelity the images are, and the more you can push the frame rates. We took a new approach to solving this technical challenge for gaming and deployed a graphics-optimized, high-density, high-speed cache based on the Zen L3 cache. We call this the Infinity Cache. The Infinity Cache minimizes DRAM bottlenecks, latencies, and power consumption.
256-bit
Our specialized Infinity Cache, combined with a 256-bit G6 interface, delivers more than twice the effective bandwidth of a traditional 384-bit G6 solution and at lower power consumption. High frequency is important for gaming performance. RDNA 2 is built with custom libraries and high-speed design flows, maximizing frequency in 7-nanometer. With RDNA 2, our silicon design and architectural improvements, we are able to deliver 30% faster frequencies in the same 7-nanometer process node. Pulling all this together, the RDNA 2 architecture beats our aggressive performance per watt goal, achieving 54%. With RDNA 2, we also focused on bringing new hardware features into the architecture. We partnered closely with Microsoft on DirectX 12 Ultimate features, including DirectX ray tracing, variable rate shading, mesh shaders, and sampler feedback. RDNA 2 will also support Microsoft Direct Storage API. We're excited about this new API that will enhance the gaming experience by significantly reducing game asset load times from large SSDs. We compared the performance of RDNA 2 to our prior generation. And when we put it all together, on average, RDNA 2 delivers double the performance and with great power efficiency. We are so proud of what we've accomplished with RDNA 2, and we are not stopping. The team is executing to plan, RDNA 2 is here, and the RDNA 3 team is well into execution. Let me welcome Scott Herkelman to show RDNA 2 in our new RX 6000 series products.
Yes. Woo! 2 times performance under the same 7nm node.
Hello to all of the gamers tuning in, and welcome to our Radeon RX 6000 series product reveal. As a hardcore League of Legends and Borderlands 3 player and playing these games on our RX 6000 series over the past few weeks, I'm so excited and proud to be here with you today. Allow me to introduce you to our brand new AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT graphics card.
Oh,
The 6800 XT is purposefully designed to play all of your favorite AAA games
Oh,
at
the specs
4K
were right.
and below resolutions, and at the highest quality settings available.
The leaks were
It
so
comes with
right.
72 compute units and runs with a
Wow.
game clock of over 2 gigahertz. This card features a 2.25 gigahertz boost clock that pushes some of the highest frequencies we've ever achieved, all thanks to the incredible work done by our engineering team on the RDNA 2 architecture. The 6800 XT will also feature 128 megabytes of Infinity Cache that
Exactly
is
what
power
was
efficient
leaked.
while driving the bandwidth needed for high-resolution gaming. Paired with 16 gigabytes of blazing fast GDDR6 memory, you'll be ready for the most demanding high-resolution games that you want to play. And we've delivered all of this incredible performance with a total board power of just 300 watts. As you can see, the 6800 XT not only delivers on 4K 60 frames per second, but in
wanna see
most
comparisons?
cases, it overperforms. We've been maxing out all the settings in games like Battlefield 5, Borderlands 3,
Wow.
and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and the performance has just been awesome to experience. Let's take a look
But that
at how the
power.
6800 XT
Ooh.
competes head-to-head against the latest offering from the competition.
Oh,
Here, we compare their best API scores to our best API scores. The best versus the best. And as you
Wow.
can see,
Okay.
the 6800 XT trades blows and has some significant wins across a variety of titles. And it does all of this at less power consumption than the competition.
Wow.
For the 1440p gamers out there, we have some great results for you too. Over the last several years, more and more gamers have adopted 1440p monitors as their display of choice.
It's exactly
Here
what
are the
was
same
leaked.
games we showed you
Exactly.
before, running the same best versus best API scenario at 1440p resolution. I personally love seeing so many games running at over 100 frames per second with all of the settings maxed out. This is just an incredible amount of performance. All in all, the 6800 XT is a fantastic choice for enthusiast gamers. We even have more performance we are delivering with 2 very cool features. The first is a one-click overclocking button we've built into our Radeon software package that we call Rage Mode. Now, Rage Mode automatically takes advantage of the overclocking headroom built into your GPU to give you every bit of performance it has to offer.
Wow.
And the second is made possible because of the fact that only AMD can deliver both high-performance processors and high-performance GPUs. We call this new feature AMD Smart Access Memory. AMD Smart Access Memory unlocks the greater amount of high-speed memory from the AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards to the AMD Ryzen 5000 series processors,
What?
and it delivers additional levels of performance in games. Simply pair these components with our 500 series chipset motherboards, enable the setting in the BIOS, and the performance uplift becomes automatic. When you combine AMD Smart Access Memory with the one-click overclocking of Rage Mode, you'll get a boost in performance in many of the games you love. We're seeing up to a 13% performance increase, and that's before game developers begin to optimize for this new capability. Now, we know a lot of you absolutely love frames per second performance just like us. However, we can also improve the game experience by reducing latency. The differences of milliseconds of latency in a competitive game can be the difference between a major win and a major loss. Last year, we pushed the industry to recognize there was a better way to provide competitive gamers with less latency from mouse click to the screen, giving competitive gamers who own the RX 5000 series a serious leg up on their competition. Today, we are pushing the boundaries again and further reducing latency in competitive games for even better results.
AMD did
Combining
it.
the latest implementation of Radeon Anti-Lag with the FreeSync monitor can reduce lag in your DX9 and in your DX11 games. In Fortnite, for example, gamers can realize up to 8 milliseconds of latency reduction by simply enabling this feature in Radeon software. More recently, we introduced Radeon Boost, a unique feature that's a step beyond anti-lag. For select games, Radeon Boost offers dynamic resolution in response to your mouse or controller inputs, leading to higher frame rates and, as a result, quicker responses to your input.
Come on,
Both
Price.
Radeon Anti-Lag and Radeon Boost can be enabled via the Radeon software that comes with your graphics cards, and neither of them require a proprietary API or a game integration to provide latency-reducing benefits. As you can see, the combination of these technologies can contribute up to 37% latency reduction in highly competitive games like Fortnite running at 4K. Now, performance is king, but let's talk for a minute about how we are improving the visual experience as well. With full hardware support for DX12 Ultimate, the Radeon RX
Hardware
6000
ray
series
tracing,
is
that's it.
ready to enable ray tracing and variable rate shading in upcoming titles. We've also expanded our library of Fidelity FX features to work hand in hand with ray tracing, compute, and shader effects to enable the higher level of visual fidelity while ensuring high frame rates. For DX12 Ultimate, we've added an optimized denoiser for ray tracing effects and a variable rate shading algorithm that can adapt image quality based upon luminance and motion.
It's
We've
more
also
than
added a
500.
suite of
It has to
compute-based
be.
effects to be used alongside ray tracing, like optimized screen space reflections and an optimized ambient occlusion. We're always looking to help developers with new initiatives and are already working on a super resolution feature to give gamers an option for more performance when using ray tracing. As of today, our AMD Fidelity FX supported games list has grown to 35 titles using a variety of our features. So let's take a look at some of these new features in an upcoming game with never before seen footage from Counterplay Studios and their fantastic game, Godfall. Godfall is a brand new third-person perspective, next-generation looter slasher that challenges gamers to engage in high-impact melee combat as they hunt for loot, equip legendary armor, and defeat vicious enemies. Leveraging the latest DirectX 12 Ultimate API, Godfall features DirectX ray tracing, variable rate shading, and supports Fidelity FX CAS to deliver incredible levels of stunning fidelity. I personally can't wait to play this game, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, let's hear from a few more of our game developer partners about the work they've done with us on RDNA 2 and what you can expect in their games coming soon.
I'm here to talk about Far Cry 6 and some of the new technologies we've been collaborating with AMD on to make our game the most immersive and beautiful Far Cry ever. We've been working together to take full advantage of the new Radeon RX 6000 series and RDNA 2 architecture for best possible experience. We've been very impressed by AMD's latest tech and joined forces to bring Fidelity FX CAS, DXR ray tracing, and variable rate shading to Far Cry 6.
We're using VRS Tier 2 to use a compute shader to generate a control texture which analyzes the luminance and gives us control at an 8x8 tile level as to what shader rate we're going to be using. This enables us to render much more quickly but keep the same quality level.
We're excited to team up with great partners like AMD to bring some new features to World of Warcraft.
It's probably the same
World of
price.
Warcraft
It
is
might
built
even be a
on
little
custom
more,
engine
but if it's
using
cheaper,
the DirectX 12 Ultimate API. Another great feature on the RX 6000 is DXR ray tracing. Here you can see ray tracing evident in how the shadows are interacting with your character. What you're seeing involves incredibly complex computations on the RX 6000. This is a level of realism that hasn't been possible until recently.
oh, come on.
The RDNA 2 architecture and the Radeon 6000 series allowed us to introduce some of the latest DirectX 12 Ultimate technologies into our engine. Real-time ray-traced shadows allow us to introduce additional shadow casting lights into the scene, that provide much more immersion and detail into the world.
Over the next few weeks, developers of these incredible games will show never-before-seen gameplay with gorgeous graphics that use a combination of ray tracing and fidelity effects running on the Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards. Be sure to check out AMD.com starting tomorrow to see more. I'm happy to announce that the Radeon RX 6800 XT will be available on November 18th, starting at $649. But we are not done yet. Today, we are also announcing the Radeon RX 6800 with 60 compute units, a 1.815 gigahertz game clock with a boost clock of over 2.1 gigahertz. It will feature the same 128 megabytes of Infinity Cache and be available with 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory with a board power of just 250 watts. The Radeon RX 6800 is a fantastic entry into 4K gaming, delivering more performance than the 2080 Ti, which was launched at $999. The 6800 delivers over 60 frames per second in all of these games, giving you the confidence you need to step into the 4K gaming experience. That same great performance extends to 1440p resolution, where the RX 6800 tears through the latest games, delivering about 18% more performance than the 2080 Ti on average. The Radeon RX 6800 will be available to gamers starting at a price of $579 on November 18th. Now, let's bring back Lisa to wrap things up.
Thanks, Scott and Laura. The AMD Radeon 6800 XT and 6800 deliver simply incredible 4K and 1440p gaming experiences. This is the power of RDNA 2. And once we add the smart access memory technology, gamers can even get higher frames per second when pairing Radeon 6000 GPUs with Ryzen 5000 series. Now, I saw online that some of you were wondering which big Navi product we previewed during our Ryzen 5000 launch earlier this month. For the record, that was the 6800 XT. But you know, we always save the best for last, and I always get the most
6900
fun jobs.
XT.
So today, that means I have one more GPU to show you. We didn't stop with the Radeon RX 6800 XT. We knew that the RDNA 2 architecture could give gamers even more. I'm so excited to share with you for the very first time the AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT. Now, isn't this just absolutely gorgeous? And you'll see that it's actually relatively compact for all the performance that it delivers. It's actually the same size as our 6800 XT card. Our top-of-the-stack Radeon GPU is built for the ultimate in 4K gaming performance. The 6900 XT combines 80 compute units with a 2.25 gigahertz boost clock to deliver even more performance at the highest settings. With 16 gigabytes of graphics memory, the 6900 XT is ready for the most demanding next-gen games. And with the power efficiency of RDNA 2, we've been able to deliver all of this with a total board power of 300 watts. Now, Laura showed you that we achieved a 54% generational improvement in perf per watt with the 6800 XT. With the 6900 XT, we improved things even more, hitting 65% more performance per watt over first-gen RDNA. I'm so proud of our engineers who worked incredibly hard to optimize every aspect of RDNA 2 to achieve this performance. Now let's see how all of this translates to gaming performance. Running at 4K with the highest settings, the 6900 XT looks absolutely fantastic. It's extremely competitive across the board, consistently delivering high frame rates in your favorite games. Just take a look at the performance we see against the competition in Battlefield 5,
300
Call
watts.
of Duty, and Gears of War 5. All of this is at lower power with a smaller card form factor. Now, let's talk about price and availability. The AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT will be available on December 8th, starting at $999. You asked for AMD to bring the highest graphics performance to the gaming market, and we're doing just that. I hope you now feel that with the Ryzen 5000 series and the Radeon 6000 series, AMD is your best choice for your next generation PC gaming platform. Whether you want a game with ultimate performance in AAA titles at 4K resolution, or you're an esports fan who needs incredibly high frame rates and responsiveness, across the board for every gamer at every price, AMD has the CPU and GPU combination for you. So I hope you're as excited as we are. We can't wait to get these products in your hands. So look for the Ryzen 5000 series starting November 5th, the Radeon RX 6800 series starting November 18th, and the Radeon RX 6900 XT starting December 8th. To wrap up here, this has been quite a journey for us.
Wow.
And I'm incredibly proud of our CPU and GPU teams who have worked years for this moment. AMD is delivering the best to the industry. We want to thank all of you for your passion and enthusiasm and for always pushing us to be the best.
Okay. All right. So many things to say. For one, if you follow the channel, the leaks that we got specifically from video cards, thanks so much, video cards, were spot on. I'll have to go over them again just to make 100% sure. Now, I will say that you know what? I should probably... Oh, you know what? Okay, it doesn't even have the audio for that. Okay. Spot on. Spot on. Seriously impressed with that. Wow. I'm kind of trying to just wrap my head around everything as of right now, to be completely honest. Okay, so... Yes. Spot on. I'm gonna go over this. 6800 XT, 72 compute units, 2250 megahertz boost, 2015 megahertz game clock. Let's see. I think I'm pretty much positive that the boost was accurate. I'll have to go over all these numbers again, but the compute units, 80 compute units for 6900 XT. The 256-bit bus, the Infinity Cache, the amount of Infinity Cache, all of these things. If you guys follow the channel, you have seen that the leaks, man, they have been spot on. They've actually been spot on for quite a while. We've known about the Infinity Cache for quite a while. 300 watts, 6900 XT beats out the 3090, or it seems really like these are neck and neck, kind of trading blows. I'm fine with accepting that. $1,000, significantly less, still likely not worth it over the 6800 XT, but the 6800 XT is still $50 less, yet performs right on par with the 3080. Instead of them, I believe, I can almost guarantee that they were able to get the wattage a little bit lower, 300 watts versus 320 watts for the 3080. I can almost guarantee they were able to do that by not using this new memory, the GDDR6X. It really seems like what they did with the cache, and the fact that it seems like you don't even have to do a ton of like any kind of programming or anything like that to make it work with the cache. Wow. Just like a new way of handling graphics, of handling memory, and they did it. Anyway, my point is that instead of them creating like new memory like NVIDIA did with GDDR6X, they used 16 gigabytes of regular GDDR6, which we know that 6X is a pretty big power hog, pretty big generator of heat. So instead of doing that, they did a pretty large cache, and that ended up basically making up for the difference. So it's probably not going to run, well, NVIDIA's cards don't really run hot, but it probably isn't going to require near as much heat dissipation, which of course we saw the 6900 XT looks quite a bit smaller than the 3090. And that also brought down the total board power, the wattage. The 6900 XT remained 300 watts, $1,000, significantly less than the 3090, yet was able to beat it out. I mean, this certainly seems like a massive, massive win for AMD. Seriously, $50 less for the 6800 XT versus the 3080. I think $500 less for the 6900 XT versus the 3090. Anyway, I'm probably going to be doing a regular video on this once I kind of get all the graphs together, look at all the numbers. I'll probably have that up within a few hours because it is going to be a talking head video just so I can get it up there, everyone can see. But I'm obviously going to have to kind of get my thoughts in order and everything. But all I can say is AMD did not disappoint. The leaks, wow, so spot on, down to pretty much everything. Really impressive. Really interested to see, AMD was talking about a new kind of thing that a shared memory between the CPU and GPU. Really want to see how that helps. It definitely showed a decent boost in performance. Of course, one thing to question is DLSS. How that, well, someone just asked DLSS versus the Infinity, completely different. We're talking memory versus an AI generated kind of upscaling, which is effectively what DLSS is. So those aren't comparable, but if AMD has some kind of tech that is comparable to DLSS, that will be interesting to see. I don't think they mentioned anything like that, but like I said, I am going to go back, figure this out, but all I can say is, wow, AMD did not disappoint. There are links in the description. Obviously, they aren't out yet, but when you do plan on purchasing that, if you wouldn't mind clicking on those, I would really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it. I'm actually going to have to wait like 20 seconds for it to catch up. But anyway, have a great day. As always, thanks so much for watching. Yeah. So now I'm going to have to wait, because if I end the stream immediately, it'll just end it instantly without the lag. So it'll just abruptly end it. So I have to wait until I see myself say what I'm saying.